This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, Jeff Cutter Diamond, welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy! And the birthday boy for April the 22nd is a former running back known as Beast Mode. He played 12 seasons for Buffalo and Seattle, and even joined Oakland for a few games. This guy is known for one of the greatest touchdowns in Seattle Seahawks history still to this day, and should have been the hero of Super Bowl 49 if it wasn't for some stupidity by Pete Carroll. Anyway, he is the owner of the Bay Area Panthers in the Indoor Football League. He is Beast Mode, Skittles Boy, Marshawn Lynch, who is now 36 years old. So he's just a year younger than I am. Lynch grew up in Oakland and was a decent recruit and all that. He would play for the University of Cal for the Golden Bears and majored in social welfare. Surprised that's so good. But anyway, as a true freshman in 2004, Lynch was the backup to J.J. Arrington. But he made his debut against Air Force in the regular season opener, getting 7 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. In his freshman season, he would carry 71 times for 628 yards with 8 rushing touchdowns. Lynch would become the starting running back once Arrington had graduated. So anyway, we had 2 cousins at Cal too, which was funny. Lynch in his second season hit over almost 1,250 rushing yards with 10 touchdowns. He was 5th in the Pac-10 in rushing yards. People thought that Marshawn Lynch was going to definitely be a star and all that. So anyway, Lynch looked pretty good with a 1,356-yard campaign and 11 touchdowns. It did not get him the Heisman like you thought he would, but he was named Offensive Player of the Game when Cal beat Texas A&M in the Holiday Bowl. He looked pretty good for that. Lynch said he wanted to go to the draft. And with the 12th pick of the 2007 draft, Buffalo needed a running back. And they took Marshawn Lynch. Gave him a 6-year, $18 million contract. He was okay and all that for Buffalo. He got a touchdown run, but the Bills lost the first game of his NFL career to the Broncos on a last-second field goal. Lynch looked pretty good and all that. Lynch even completed a touchdown pass to tight end Robert Royal, becoming the first Buffalo Bill to have a touchdown pass by a non-quarterback since Joe Cripps in 1981. Unfortunately, Lynch would injure his ankle. He did hit the 1,000-yard mark, which was good and all that. He became the 4th Bills rookie to hit the 1,000-yard mark, and first since Greg Bell in 1984. He did okay and all that. Lynch would run in 2008 for 1,000 yards and all that. Unfortunately, Marshawn Lynch was given a 3-game suspension for having a gun in his backpack in the trunk of a car. A crime in California. Well, Lynch would do pretty well for himself, but then by November 2009, he was replaced as starting running back by Fred Jackson. Lynch had an ankle sprain that cost him dearly. Even more so, he would play 3 games for Buffalo before trading to Seattle for 2 draft picks. Lynch would head to Seattle, and he did pretty well. Of course, That was the season in which Seattle was 7-9. Somehow won the NFC West and would face the New Orleans Saints, the defending Super Bowl champions, on home turf because they won the division. New Orleans didn't. So anyway, with Seattle coming in tight against New Orleans, Marshawn Lynch went off on a run that was one for the ages, as he broke 9 tackles and stiff-armed Tracy Porter to the ground. You know, the guy who iced Super Bowl 44 for the Saints. It's known as the Beastquake run, and it was shocking because at one moment, movement for the fans, jumping celebration was so intense it actually registered on a seismograph 100 yards from the stadium. In the divisional round, he was shut down by Chicago. Lynch would do pretty well for himself, getting 1,000 yards in the 2011 season. And fans would throw SKITTLES onto the field after Lynch scored, making it some kind of weird tradition and all of that. Lynch did pretty good for himself and signed a 4-year deal in 2012. 2012, he would have the Seahawks get to the wildcard round by beating Washington and lost narrowly to Atlanta in the division round. Marshawn Lynch was pretty much a great runner and all that. And yeah, he did play in Super Bowl 48 when the Broncos got their asses whooped by Seattle and Marshawn Lynch 43-8. He was good at rushing touchdown. Lynch wanted a restructured contract from Seattle. But fortunately, though, that didn't last too long. Anyway, Marshawn Lynch would run hard and all that. And won 12 games. So Seattle won 12 games, got first round bye. Marshawn Lynch was named to the Pro Bowl for the 5th time. And in the divisional round against Carolina, he did okay. And he caught a touchdown pass. No, he caught a long pass to set up a touchdown while scoring a touchdown himself, making Seattle crush Green Bay in overtime 28-22. Lynch made headlines at Super Bowl 49 Media Day when he held a 5-minute press conference, only answering, "I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined," to every question. He did not like to talk to the media. So in Super Bowl 49, the Seahawks were facing the Patriots. It was 28-24. The Seahawks made that incredible play to Jermaine Kearse, and they were at the 1-yard line. So it was tackled by Donta Hightower at the 1, and then for some strange reason, on 2nd down, they decided to pass the ball instead of giving it Lynch, and Russell Wilson's pass was an interception. I mean, Seattle should have just given the ball. It's at the 1-yard line, and you had time for another play if necessary. Nevertheless, Seattle did give him a 2-year extension and all that. Unfortunately, he would have sports hernia surgery midway through 2015. So Lynch came back in the playoffs. All that. Lynch decided to retire after the 2016 season. He did it via Twitter by posting a picture of his football cleats hanging from a telephone wire. But there were still rumors that he was going to return and all that. And Lynch said, "You know what? I want to sign with my hometown Oakland Raiders," when they were in Oakland. Seattle retained his rights even after retirement, but Seattle would have to trade him and all that. Lynch said that he wanted to come out of retirement because he knew that Oakland was going to move to Las Vegas soon, and he wanted local kids to see a hometown boy play for the Raiders before it's gone. So he was traded to Oakland in 2017 for Oakland's 5th-round pick in the 2018 draft. Lynch signed a 2-year, $9 million contract. Fortunately, Lynch got himself in trouble, first with an obscene gesture, and then during Thursday Night Football with the Chiefs and Raiders, he ran onto the field and shoved an official, following a hit by Marcus Peters on Derek Carr. Lynch was given a 1-game suspension for that. Lynch was upset with the officials. and kept getting himself fined. Although Marshawn Lynch did get to 10,000 yards rushing yards in his career, which was huge. He came back for the 2018 season and did very well for the Raiders with getting running touchdowns, but they kept losing games and all that. Unfortunately, a great injury would ruin him by October. All that. Lynch thought he could retire. He wanted to retire. But in 2019, the Seahawks had some problems because they had 3 running backs hurt to injury, and that was hurting their playoff chances. No pun intended. So Lynch said, screw it, I'm going to join Seattle. Okay? And he did on Sunday Night Football, Seahawks and Niners for a playoff spot. Seattle did lose to San Francisco, though, 26-21, but still did okay. Seahawks got to the wildcard round, beat Philadelphia, and Lynch got a touchdown. Lynch got 2 touchdowns in the divisional round against the Packers, but it had a 28-23 loss. Lynch would move into 4th place on postseason rushing touchdowns list, tying with Terrell Davis and John Riggins. Unfortunately, he would not come back and all that. So anyway, in 149 regular season games, he ran for 10,413 yards and 85 touchdowns. In the postseason, 6 times with Seattle, 13 games, 970 yards and 12 touchdowns. Lynch holds a lot of Seattle franchise records. Most rushing attempts in a playoff career, most rushing yards in a playoff career, most rushing touchdowns in a game, which he did with a 4 in 2014. Most rushing touchdowns in a playoff career. Most total touchdowns in a playoff. So basically, he was playoff records for Seattle and all that. So we all know about beast mode and all that. It's just amazing and all that. But he would be known for trying to help the Indoor Football League, and it's not really that good and all that. Lynch had several relatives who played pro football, but not that good and all that. Lynch, of course, ate Skittles during games and all that. After Lynch was shown eating the candy during a national televised game, December 2011, Mars Company offered him a 2-year supply of Skittles and a custom dispenser for his locker. On December 30th, 2011, he was fined $10,000 for cleats that had a Skittles pattern and all that. Lynch is in the cannabis industry as an entrepreneur. He has had a few legal troubles, including that gun in his backpack and all of that. He's not really good with the media and all that, so you can't blame him for that. But he could have at least tried, I guess you can say. Regardless of that, Marshawn Lynch is still a great running back. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.